is a phone, a smartphone. It's smaller than a television remote. It's as light as a book. It fits in your pocket and you take it everywhere. And we take it everywhere because we depend on it for everything. I mean, it's not just how we send messages and make calls. It's so much more than that. It wakes us up and tells us to wear a coat, keeps track of our meetings, and then reminds us to go to them. It captures all the most important moments in our lives, and even more than that, it's our co-pilot, our DJ, our checkbook, our bus schedule, our drawing pad, and our own personal trainer, bank teller, travel agent, talk show host. I mean, it's incredible how much these things do, and how many other things they've replaced in our lives. Things like things like this. So, it was 1991. And if you're too young to know what 1991 was like, well, I'll tell you. If we had a homework assignment that required research, we had to go to a library and read these things called books. And they were arranged by a madman named Dewey, who had an obsession with decimals and a stranglehold on the entire process. And if you had an essay to write, yeah, you did that on paper with something called a pencil. If you weren't sure of an equation or how to spell a word, you needed a calculator and a dictionary. Of course, now, well, these are those. But even back then, there were options. I mean, nothing as mainstream as a smartphone or as efficient, but options nonetheless. There was early, clunky, 1990s personal technology. There was the InfoGenius Productivity Pak. So the Game Boy actually has an entire InfoGenius line. I mean, they released translators, personal assistants, all kind of stuff. And looking back, it's actually kind of interesting. I mean, it really shows you that people have tried to put this stuff on handhelds for a long time. Well, you see it on the original DS, which has a built-in clock and a calendar. I mean, even Tiger's GameCom. That thing had an address book, a calculator. I guess that way you could calculate how much money you wasted on it. Then call your friends and warn them not to do the same. Gamecom didn't work, you big idiot. This stuff never really works on gaming devices, but at least with this, I can see the argument. In 1991, this actually might have been useful for someone. So what is it? Well, it's a calculator and a spell checker. The calculator calculates, the checker checks. And I had fun just f***ing with it and trying made-up words. Like placentard. That's not a real thing. Although I can only imagine if it was. Oh, and then I tried to spell check disestablishmentarianism, but it wouldn't fit. That's too many characters. Ha! I think we all know why. Anti-taco legislation! Combined with the giblets from a monkey. I also tried to spell check Emma Watson, and it suggested emanation, which is fitting because she definitely emanates lots of things, which makes me emanate other things. Of course, unless you're a dick and you're just treating it like a teenage boy, so there's not a whole lot of purpose left in this thing. It's been made obsolete. In fact, it probably wasn't very solete back in 1991 either. Solete meaning the state of being not obsolete. Look that up, Home Slice, with your InfoGenius Productivity Pak, you fucking nerd. But in all honesty, I really do think it's interesting that, this is something that within my lifetime, someone somewhere thought was necessary. And I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. That's how much technology has evolved over the years, let alone the last 6 years, when these things started coming out. Now I use this damn thing for everything. In 1991, they used this. They also had a Rise and Human and the Black Album, all that same year. Thanks to Mary from Westbrook, Maine, for sending us her InfoGenius Productivity Pak, spell checker, and calculator. Hopefully you're not lost without it, Mary. Might actually have to go to a library. Beware of Dewey!